Hey everyone, welcome to the top 10 list and welcome to my top 10 favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. Yes, I wanted to do a top 10 list of my favorite classic actresses, and there was a few choices. I was going to go with Vivian Leigh, Ingrid Bergman, or Katharine Hepburn. I may do those actresses later on in other videos and stuff, but I decided on Audrey Hepburn. Audrey Hepburn, to be or not, she doesn't have a lot of movies, really. She has maybe about 17, 18 movies, and I've seen all of her films, and I love the majority of her films, and I thought I'd love to do a top 10 of my favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. She's a great actress with a lot of range. She's played in a lot of different genres of films, so yeah, I'm excited to talk about her, so let's get to it. Here's my top 10 favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. But our top 10 list, you gotta have your honorable mentions. My honorable mentions are Always, Love in the Afternoon, Two for the Road, Paris When It Sizzles, and How to Steal a Million. All great movies, just great top 10 list, but what did make my top 10 was my number 10. My number 10 is the musical Funny Face. Funny Face has a funny title. It's a very strange comedic musical, but it works. I like Audrey Hepburn in the movie. This is definitely not the best musical she's played in, obviously, but this is a very good one, and it's mostly thanks to her and Fred Astaire. Fred Astaire did a lot of the choreography, and the dance numbers are actually better than the musical numbers. Unfortunately, the music itself is good, but not very memorable. I barely remember a single song from this movie because they're just not memorable. But the dance sequences with Fred Astaire, Audrey Hepburn, and the entire cast are all very memorable. The cinematography is also really good, and it is a well-directed movie, and Audrey Hepburn and Fred Astaire give good performances, and they do have chemistry, and it does have a very original ending to a musical, and I really like Funny Face. It's definitely not the best musical, it's definitely not the most memorable, but it is a good movie with good performances, and it's my 10th favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. Coming number 9 is Robin and Marian. Robin and Marian, I talked about this in my ranking of the Robin Hood movies, and this is a very good movie. It's a very different take on the Robin Hood stories. This is when Robin Hood is much older, Marian's much older, who's played by Audrey Hepburn, and Robin Hood is Sean Connery and stuff. This is 20 years after he served the crusade of Richard the Lionheart, which is played by Richard Harris and stuff. And he goes back to Marian, but then he has to deal with the Sheriff of Nottingham, which is played amazingly by Robert Shaw. And this is a very good movie. It's not an action-adventure, swashbuckling movie like all the Robin Hood movies. This is more of a dramatic romance with a very tragic ending, but also with some sense of humor. There is some funny slapstick in this movie, but there is also this great, deep, passionate drama and great romance. I love Audrey Hepburn and Sean Connery in this movie. They both have great chemistry, and they are what holds this movie together. Also, Robert Shaw as the villain. Robert Shaw is so great. And this movie is very good with a very dark ending, but also very funny elements throughout the film, and I really like it. It's definitely not the best Robin Hood movie, but it's a damn good one. Coming number 8 is The Nun Story. Yes, The Nun Story is a movie, this is probably like a lot of people's favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. She was nominated for an Oscar. She was very well deserved of that nomination. She is so good in this movie. So is Peter Finch. This movie is directed by that epic filmmaker, I think it's Robert Zinnemann, he did a very good job. It's a very well-directed movie. It is a very epic movie, epic feeling, because it is a very long movie about a nun. This is a very realistic take on a nun story. Like, actually shows you the realism of what it takes to be a nun and what nuns go through, and it's actually kind of scary. Like, they don't even call nuns rooms. They don't call them rooms. They call them cells and stuff. Being a nun in a church almost feels like being in prison, and it's pretty messed up, and they do show you the realism of becoming a real-life nun, and yeah, it's really dark, and it's actually very scary at times, and it's also about Audrey Hepburn's character. She wants to be a nurse and stuff, and she wants to go to the Amazon and help people and stuff, and it's a very good story. It's very well acted, very well directed, very well written, and it is a very delightful film. It is a bit overlong at times, but I still really enjoy it, and it's definitely one of the best Audrey Hepburn movies. Coming number 7 is Wait Until Dark. Wait Until Dark is definitely a great film. This is a very, very tense psychological thriller. This is where last year's Hush probably got a lot of its inspiration from, because that movie's about a deaf girl and there's like the stalker killer and stuff. This one is a blind girl and there's people in her house trying to steal something from her because she has something of theirs that they want and stuff. And yeah, it's about this blind girl played by Audrey Hepburn, and people are breaking into her house and trying to rip her off, and she has no idea what's happening because she is blind. And it's a very creative, very original idea for a movie, and it's so well done. It's all shot in Toronto too, so that was pretty cool. And Audrey Hepburn's great. Alan Arkin is in this movie and is really good. It's a very tension-filled, atmospheric thriller, and I just love it. It's a great idea, great premise, great story, and it's just one of my favorites. Coming number 6 is Sabrina. Sabrina is another movie I've talked to death about. I think this is a great movie. I even like the remake with Harrison Ford. Yes, I love Audrey Hepburn and I love Humphrey Bogart in this movie. They both have sensational chemistry. This movie, I think, is directed by Billy Wilder, who did an amazing job with this movie. It's one of the best movies of the 50s. It's one of the best romantic comedies. It's got great comedy. It's got great romance. It's a bit predictable. It's a bit formulaic and cliched, but it's just so well acted. It's so well directed and just so delightful to watch. It had to be one of my favorites. Coming number 5 is Charade. Yes, Charade stars probably like my favorite. It stars like one of my favorite classic actors. It has Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn, and Walter Matthau in this movie. Doesn't get any better than this. And this is an action, comedy, thriller, romance, drama movie. It's got so many genres. It's fantastic. It's a thrill ride. It's funny. It's action-packed. Cary Grant, Audrey Hepburn are both amazing. Walter Matthau is a villain. I didn't even think that could work, and it did. It did beautifully. And it's just so well paced, so entertaining, so delightful to watch. It's definitely one of my favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. Coming number 4 is Breakfast at Tiffanys. Yes, this is probably everyone's favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. As the movie itself, it's a very good movie. I love this movie. I love Audrey Hepburn in the movie. She makes the movie. She is fantastic. My only main issue with the movie is Mickey Rooney in this movie as the neighbor, the Asian neighbor. That was very racist. Yes, playing Mickey Rooney playing this Asian with this accent and the makeup, and it was incredibly racist, and it's very cringeworthy watching in this movie. That is the biggest issue with the film. The movie itself is great, though. It's got great comedy, great drama. It's a very simple story about a girl who just loves to shop and stuff, and you think she's this very materialistic, unlikable character, but she has a lot of layers to her character, and she does have a lot of charm and likability, and she does have great chemistry with the lead actor, and Audrey Hepburn just plays the role so well, and the movie is so well shot, so well paced, and very well directed, that it had to be, of course, one of my favorites. Coming number 3 is Roman Holiday. Yes, Roman Holiday is actually one of the first leading roles Audrey Hepburn played in, and she won her Oscar for. I think this is like her second or third movie, and she won the Best Actress. That is a very big accomplishment, and yeah, she's amazing. Her and Gregory Peck are both fantastic in this movie. Amazing chemistry. This is probably a way better romantic comedy than Sabrina, even though I love Sabrina. Roman Holiday is just a more realistic take of a romantic comedy, and it's just funnier, and it's more dramatic, it's more deep. You believe the chemistry more, you believe the romance more, and the performances are just so much stronger. Gregory Peck is amazing. Audrey Hepburn holds her own with him because it's Gregory Peck. Gregory Peck is one of the best actors out there. For this new actress to hold her own and almost outstage him in the movie is a big deal. She is absolutely amazing in this movie. Academy Award, very well deserved, and yeah, the simplicity is what also makes it great. It's just a girl who's in royalty, and she doesn't want to do that. She wants to live a normal life, and she finds a normal guy and builds this relationship with him. And it's a very well done movie. There's even some thought-provoking themes in the movie as well, and I just love this movie. It's so good, so delightful, and hands down my third favorite Audrey Hepburn movie. Coming number 2 is The Children's Hour. The Children's Hour is a very overlooked movie, and a movie that was way ahead of its time. The story of this movie is about this little girl, yes, this little shithead brat. she basically accuses her two teachers of being lesbians, of being gay and stuff, and basically parents take all their kids out of their boarding school and stuff, and basically these two girls, played by Audrey Hepburn and Shirley MacLaine, their lives are being ruined because of this rumor and stuff. But, however, some of it may be sort of true. Audrey Hepburn is getting married to James Garner, but she has to deal with this controversy, but Shirley MacLaine herself actually is gay and actually does have a crush on Audrey Hepburn herself. So yeah, all these situations are dwindling together and stuff, and it's just a fascinating story. Again, a movie that was way ahead of its time because they didn't really talk about movies about gays and stuff. They didn't do it properly, and they just didn't do a lot of it back in the classic era. And this one was really well done. Again, the little girl, what a shithead. It's almost like the movie Atonement. Yes, because it's about those two people and their lives get ruined because of a rumor of a little stupid girl. However, with this one actually has a dark ending, but at least the issue gets resolved. In Atonement, the issue never got resolved. They ended up dead in the movie. This one also has a very tragic ending. I won't spoil the ending, but it is very dark. The movie is a dark story. It's a very realistic story and a very well-told story. Audrey Hepburn and Shirley MacLaine are both amazing in this movie. Shirley MacLaine, I think, steals this movie. She is so good in this movie. Same with James Garner. He's great. Audrey Hepburn is very good as well. I love her character. I love how she always keeps her head held up high, especially near the ending of the movie. It's so well done. It's very well done, very well directed. This movie is directed by William Wyler, who did an amazing job. Again, this movie, which is way ahead of its time, and just not a lot of people have seen this movie, so please, check this movie out. It is damn good. And my number one favorite Audrey Hepburn movie is My Fair Lady. Yes, My Fair Lady is hands down the best movie she's played in. This is one of my favorite musicals of all time, and she is so good in this movie. This movie is so well directed. I love her and Rex Harrison. Rex Harrison is so great. He won the Oscar. She should have won with him, but yeah, he totally deserved it. He's so great. The musical numbers are all amazing. They're catchy, toe-tapping fun. The dance numbers, the shots, the costumes, the art direction, the production design, the editing, everything about this movie is just done brilliantly. Everything. There's barely any flaws with this film. There may be some minor nitpicks here and there, but it is so great. This movie's 3 hours long, and it feels like an hour and a half because you're having so much fun with this movie, with these characters, that time goes by so quick. And I love the story about this girl, this low-class girl, and she doesn't know how to speak properly, and this rich guy, teaches her how to act like a real lady, a true lady and stuff, to speak properly, sing properly, and live properly, and it's a great movie. It's so great. There also builds a relationship with them, too. It's a very interesting dynamics between the two characters, and I love it. I love this movie. I just love how it's structuralized, and I just love everything about it. All the songs again, the songs are amazing. The score is also really good, too, and just everything about this movie I just love. It's hands down the best Audrey Hepburn movie, in my opinion. Yeah, that was my top 10 favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. So yeah, in the comment section below, please tell me, did you agree with the top 10 list? If not, give me your top 10 favorite Audrey Hepburn movies. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.